All right. Hello, everyone. Sorry for getting up a little bit late. I had no way I had that loop right there. My bad. Did not have it on the right side. But good afternoon. It's hot out. No surprises there. If you stepped outside today at all, you were definitely feeling the heat. And that is the story for another day. We're going to check out these temperatures, chat about what's going to be going on throughout the rest of the week, and if we're going to see any relief from this above average heat anytime soon, because it is above average. This is unseasonable for us to feel this, at least as early this time of year. But it's here, and it's looking like it's going to be here to stay for a little bit. So if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know also if you can hear me well. My mic should be on and everything, but I just want to make sure that you can hear me loud and clear. And once again, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section or just say hi. Give me a thumbs up if the volume is all good in the hood here, and we can get started. So Della says good afternoon. Grant, if there was a video, I told you it was looping, so my bad there. Hey Donna, Alyssa says yes, it's called Florida. Yeah, but this is still unseasonably hot for us, Alyssa. So, you know, dealing with that, and a lot of the country is dealing with unseasonable heat. These feel-like temperatures is not really what we're supposed to be seeing this time of year. I feel like a heat index, rather. Either or, you can just call them. Switch it out there. 104 in Tampa. Yeah, that's a little too hot. 109 in Riverview, 106 in Sarasota, even 102 in St. Pete. So at the coast, yeah, there's a little bit of relief from the heat, but not very much. Pretty much everyone is fair game for an incredibly hot afternoon. So we're stressing to everybody to just take their time out there and take it easy, stay hydrated, obviously. And make sure you stay hydrated throughout the rest of the week, because we're not really going to see much of a change in these temperatures. The only thing that we really have to hold on to some hope there are those afternoon showers and a storm or two, a heavy downpour that could really cool things down a little bit. But a lot of the rain that we look like we're going to see rather, as we head into the next few days, looks to arrive kind of around the time when we're already cooling down anyway, after the peak heat of the day. And that would be our really best chance to get some cooler air in here. That rain-cooled air really does help in these situations. But we're not really seeing any morning rain or significant morning rain, maybe an isolated shower or two throughout the mornings and even through our early afternoons. Not really a lot of rain to work with. You can see here on our radar, there's a few showers and storms trying to fire up as we get into the 4 o'clock hour. But this is not a lot. Very isolated at this point. Let's zoom in here and look at a few of these little downpours that's not doing much. There's one to the northeast of Fort Meade here, kind of around 640, that road there. That's not super heavy, but anyone who's living in that area, they're getting a little bit of that rain relief. Getting into Hardy County, you can see a couple of showers here and there. Kind of around Highway 64. But Sean said, let's do a rain dance. Yeah, we need all of the magic we can afford in order to really get us some relief there. Donna said, she said it wouldn't even be a good beach day for me, too hot. I'm with you, Donna. I don't want to be out there. Especially without an umbrella out at the coast and that blasting sunshine with these temperatures. Here's the actual air temperatures outside. I know we show the feel-like temperatures a lot because that is really the most important component to the forecast on a day like this. So we're not just kind of making up those numbers there. That is a real scientific reason why we show a heat index. But you can see regular air temperatures, and this is just hot alone, all right? 94 degrees in Tampa, 90 in Treasure Island, 91 in St. Pete. So getting closer to the coast, so some relief from the heat a little bit when you compare it to our inland spots where they're seeing upper 90s, like in Brandon, 97 degrees, 99 in Plant City, 100 degrees it looks like in Bartow. We have to verify that, obviously, but a lot of areas, especially as you head to the east into our interior counties, are really feeling the blast of hot air out there. So as you get more so to the east, it does get a little worse, but pretty much everywhere you go today, can't really outrun those temperatures, unfortunately. Hey Kat, she says she's watching from Ohio. My daughter is visiting in Ocala, and up there they actually have a heat advisory. It got hot enough for them to issue that. So I hope she's taking her necessary precautions and staying inside at least for a little bit. Hey Travis, Edward said he only left the house once today. His AC is set at 76 degrees. Yeah, I want to see what you got, where you guys' AC is set. That's always a fun question. 76, that's a little hot for me. I think I'm a solid 67, 68 type of girl. Because when I get in the door after a day like this, I don't want to feel anything like what it feels outside. I want it to feel crisp. I want it to feel cool. I want that shock of cooler air. So let me know where you guys' thermostat is usually throughout the summertime months. I know they said 76, 77 is where it's supposed to be, but I don't. It's Florida. I don't know how people have their AC set that high. I really don't know. Let's see. John said it's so hot outside. Stay hydrated, everybody. Yes, please do that. And as we get into the next few days, look at the temperature trend here. We'll be near records each day with our heat. So for today, we forecasted a high of 95. Our record was 95. So we'll have to see later on this afternoon when we get the reports in, the observations, if we did hit 95 or got any higher than that. Our current temperature right now is 94 degrees. So it's possible that we hit 95. If we did that, we will tie the record. There's a possible chance that we could tie the record again tomorrow or even break that. But we're definitely flirting with the record each day this week, heading into the weekend even, still in those upper mid 90s, upper 90s in some localized spots with the record high of 96 degrees. So we're getting really, really close. We're just in that record territory here. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to calm down anytime soon, at least significantly. So here's your temperature outlook through next week. You can see that bullseye there once again, that red that really shows areas where there's a solid chance, a very high chance that we'll continue to see above normal temperatures compared to the Pacific Northwest, where they're actually going to see temperatures a little bit below normal. So this isn't going anywhere anytime soon for us, unfortunately. One of the reasons why, well, the reason why we have this pattern in place. High pressure is really in control of our forecast. It's in control of the forecast for much of the lower 48, especially as you get from Texas and head all the way to the eastern seaboard. When you have this sprawling ridge of high pressure, this heat dome, as we like to call it, the air underneath high pressure sinks, and when it sinks, it compresses and it heats up. So that's why we have these temperatures well above average when you have a really, really strong ridge here like we're seeing across the lower southeast. But you can see it's going to continue to move more so to the west as we get into the weekend here, but is not going to bring too much of a relief from the heat for parts of the central United States, unfortunately. And you see these air temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, even some 100s here and there, but you got to add on that humidity. You still have that flow coming out of the south. Whenever you have a southerly flow pumping into the states like this at this time of year, and even throughout much of the year, really, that is a warm and moist flow. Warm and moist flows, that's more humidity pumping into the area. So you have the humidity and you have the air temperatures in the upper 90s. That just makes a gross situation. So more heat advisories may extend into the weekend throughout some parts of the Midwest, the South, the Deep South, and parts of Texas even, as we get into the next few days. So really not seeing a big change really as we head into the weekend. You can even see our temperatures here as you look closer to Florida there, 95 degrees for your expected high for Sunday. Tallahassee may even get up to 100 degrees potentially. So it's going to be a hot, hot weekend. If you're wondering where the rain is, it's around, but we're just not seeing a lot of it, especially during the peak of the day. So really not getting those cooling showers. But we do have a chance for rain later on this afternoon. So, looking for my FUTURECAST here. There you go. So here's what it could look like, the radar could look like as we get into the next few hours here. See a few showers try to form. You can see that there around 5 o'clock, possibly around I-75 and inland. And these are going to push towards the coast later on tonight. So our coastal counties, we could get some much needed rain. Starting from, looks like Polk County, heading into possibly parts of Pinellas, Manatee, possibly parts of Sarasota County too. And that's a possible heavy downpour. You see those reds and those oranges there. That indicates really high rain rates there. So as you get into the evening, a shower is possible. As you can see, it still stays pretty isolated. Heading into Thursday morning, looking good. So very similar situation as we wake up tomorrow. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be a very, very warm start, just soup city out there. Then as we get into the afternoon, still looking pretty good. Around lunchtime, not a lot of rain to worry about if you're heading out at that time. But once again, less rain means more heat. Around noon, we should already be climbing into those mid-90s. So we're going to get to 90 degrees very quickly, once again on Thursday. And a few showers try to form as you get into around 3 to 4 o'clock. You can see it's pretty isolated. I think we're at a 30% chance for rain once again tomorrow. But you can see a few showers trying to form along the coast there. And then they're going to push out into the Gulf of Mexico. And look at that blossoming up. There's a potential that a storm could fire up along one of these boundaries here. We have enough upper level gosh, can't speak sometimes. Sorry about that. We have enough upper level energy and also potentially some of those sea breeze collisions there and the moisture in the atmosphere to get a few of these storms to form, but it looks to be possibly a little later on in the day. So kind of an evening, early evening downpour is possible along our coastal spots. And then it will push out into the Gulf later on that night. And that's really the only potential relief we could get for any type of cooling down. But around 7 o'clock, we're already cooling down. It's not going to be as hot at 7 as it is at 4 or 3 o'clock. So that's our next best chance of rain. That's around the time we can see the next best shot of rain there. So if you have any plans Thursday evening, keep that in mind. Keep the umbrella around because you could get a strong storm moving in here. Or at least a heavy downpour, a little bit of lightning, some gusty winds as well. Let's see. Oh, hello guys. I'm trying to catch up. Trying to catch up on some of these comments here. Rob said a problem from working from home is napping on the couch for your lunch break. That is true. Creating hurricanes and so much more. I'm not sure I'm not sure that's in regards to climate change and whatnot, but oh yeah, we have a whole section on our website about climate change and hurricanes and how increasing temperatures and surface moisture and all that type of stuff influences hurricanes. So we have a lot of information there. We are your climate headquarters, so if you want details about how climate change may be influencing our weather locally, you can go online. John says we also need some nice cool 60s. Perfect for the beach. Nice cool 60s is not happening anytime soon, unfortunately. I wish it would be nice. Jackie said, I'm really missing, I can't speak at all. I'm really missing the cooler weather. I am too, Jackie. I am too. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of places to go across the country to escape the cool, to escape the warmth, rather. Not a lot of places to cool down. You can see where the heat alerts are across the country. Those pinks there popping up across the area. Those are those excessive heat warnings, and that's throughout a lot of the Great Lakes states that border the Great Lakes. So you can see from Chicago all the way into Cincinnati, they're dealing with some extreme heat today. And these are areas where, you know, temperatures in the upper 90s, 100 degrees. I think Chicago hit 100 yesterday. They're not used to that. I know we're here in Florida, we're used to it feeling like 100 degrees during a good duration of our year. It's always nice and hot, but up there in Illinois, they're just not. So hopefully people are taking the necessary precautions, and I know there's some hot weather shelters available too for people who need to escape the, you know, maybe the streets and whatnot, who may not have any shelter, so they can go in and get some AC and get some relief, because this is very, very dangerous heat, and I don't wish that for anyone to be outside dealing with that. That just makes me really sad. But you can see all the areas shaded in the orange here. Those are areas in the heat advisory. We had just escaped it. You can kind of see here in Florida where that line stops. Levy County is under that heat advisory all the way stretching into the Gainesville area, the Villages area, but you can see kind of where that line stops. So we're not included in that, but you know, tomorrow could be a different story. We do have potential heat indices are reaching once again between 100 and 105 in some spots, even 108 in some spots. So maybe our inland counties could deal with a heat advisory tomorrow just because of those numbers. So let's see. I'm trying to find what I'm looking for here. Oh, here we go. So you can see the feel light temperatures will continue to dip significantly as we get into our overnight hours, which is great. It'll feel a little bit more like 80 degrees tonight, but we do have a low at around 78, so that's still quite warm and quite muggy. And I'm going to show you while I'm trying to find this graphic here. Feel like tomorrow I'm trying to. Oh, why it is it's not coming up. I'm not sure why. This is not coming up. Oh, I was on the wrong thing. Okay, forecasted heat index. Here we go. This is for the entire state. You see that pink there? We don't want to see pinks on this map at all. That's just way too hot. That's aggressive. Now, as we get into Thursday, you can see a very similar situation does play out. So we cool off, of course, overnight, but then as we get into around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, those temperatures will be uncomfortably warm, and looks like we will have some heat indices once again in the triple digits for Tampa, and sometimes it kind of pulls back. This is just a model here. So it says 101 for a heat index in Tampa, but we can easily back up to 104 degrees. And this is kind of why when we talk about a heat index, the reason being is that we have this increased moisture that we're working with. This is that tropical moisture that is usually over us this time of year. So it doesn't really go away significantly, but you can see our forecasted dew points are just going to stay in those 70s. That is just muggy town for us. Same for Thursday. Dew points in the mid 70s, 75-degree dew points. Anything higher than that, that is just incredibly oppressive. Incredibly oppressive. So you have dew points in the mid to upper 70s, right? You have air temperatures in the mid 90s, some areas pushing 100. You add that combination there, and then you have the heat index temperatures that are just well above where they're supposed to be this time of year. So the increased moisture in the atmosphere is going to make it feel on your skin, on your body. It's going to make it feel a lot hotter than what you may be reading on maybe your app here, your weather app. So we just want to, let people understand that it is important to look at that heat index, and when we talk about that, take it seriously. If we say it feels like 104, it's going to feel like 104 when you head outside. So that is pretty much what I have for you in store for today. I do want to talk about tropics really quickly here, because that is important. Nothing significant impacting us right now, but we do have Invest 93L here. This is just draped over Central America. You kind of see that where that X is, that's where the disturbance is, but it could form where that yellow hashed area is, but it's going to stay, looks like, in that area over the next few days, which is good. If it looks like it's not really going to develop fairly well because it's interacting with dry air, we still have some dust out there in the atmosphere. Dust, the Saharan dust that travels thousands of miles to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, that's impacting it, and this is heavily sheared, this area. So the next few days, it doesn't look very promising, but this area could emerge into the Bay of Campeche, and once it gets there, it could develop a little bit more, especially once that dust moves out of the way. We could see potentially a little bit more development, but for the next 5 days is looking very unlikely just because it has a lot of factors in the way that really could prevent it from blossoming in the way that it should. It is inhibiting that development there. Other than that, there are disturbances and a hurricane out in the Pacific. Hurricane Blas, Category 1, expected to form into a Category 2 storm, or strengthen to a Category 2 storm tomorrow morning. And then looks like it's just going to fizzle out and we'll forget about it pretty soon here by next week. Of course, it's not impacting us. It's in the Pacific. It's going the opposite direction. And then there's another area just to the south of that. Other than that, not really much going on in the tropics. We love to see it. We really, really do. I do want to show the, let's see, the spaghetti model for that really quickly as well. You can kind of see where this storm will potentially move. When we have an invest, that means that forecasters are using more resources to get a little more information on it, just to kind of see where it's going to go. They're monitoring it a lot more closer, and you can see it looks like it will stay away from Florida, so this is not really going to be our problem. But once it gets back out into the Gulf of Mexico, or out into the Gulf of Mexico, there could be some possible development. But at this point, model runs are pushing this west into Mexico. So not really any big development chances for us over the next 5 days. We love to see it. Until then, we're just going to be dealing with that heat, friends. So, you know, get out to the... Oh, that looks hot. Looks steamy out there from a Mahaffey Theater camera. But maybe try to get out to the beach. Maybe, you know, make sure you have a lot of water. And a lot of people were at the beach today. You know, especially early on today, which they understood the assignment. Which means that like they're trying to get out before it gets really, really hot. So, you know, that's a really good idea. If you want to do your outdoor plans, you can just try to get them done a little earlier on in the day or push it into the evening. But we do have a few shower chances throughout the next couple of days. So I think your early mornings, earlier on in the morning is your best bet if you really want to get outside, get a little bit of sunshine, enjoy the outdoors, get a run on. Mornings look the best. So you can beat the heat and beat the rain showers. This is a gorgeous view from Clearwater Beach. I'm going to leave it on this. Until next time, be safe, hydrate, drink your water, don't stay outside for a long period of time, and check on people who may be very sensitive in this type of heat. Make sure that if you have any elderly people that you look after, some neighbors, make sure their AC is working, that they're okay, they have a lot of water. You know, make sure you're checking your cars. You don't want any bad incidents happening. Checking your cars, you're catching my drift. Don't want to leave any body or pets in your car. And you know, if you can bring your pets inside for a little bit longer, then yeah, you know, if you're hot, they are very, very hot. All that fur, they're hot. So take care of the things in your life that mean a lot to you on these hot days like this. And we'll be just fine here. So enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Bye. Trying to fade out.